Oh, this is what I'm talking about. Unique in every way. Nothing ever like it has been made.
Nothing like it's ever been produced before.
That looks cheaply made. What is that?
This is the AR-180, man. This is the granddaddy, that gun.
What, Sig made that too?
No, Eugene Stoner designed it, but it's got all of your features inside of there were in here first.
That sounded weird. But first of all, you mean to be telling me Eugene Stoner made a piston-driven gun?
Absolutely.
We should talk about the AR-180. Welcome back, everybody. Clint here today with Classic Firearms. We've got Matt back with us.
What's up, guys?
And we've also got the AR-180 with us today. Thanks to Graham, Photogenic Firearms, for, well, picking this up, actually. He said he acquired one of these in his collection, and I said, oh, you mean a Sig Spear LT?
He's got a great collection.
He does, actually. But no, there are some subtle differences between these two rifles, obviously. But if
you don't say.
Yeah, just a few. But really, when it gets down to it, the internals of the guns, the overall design is pretty daggone similar. Because for those of you that don't know, Eugene Stoner, the designer, the man, the myth, the legend that he is, the designer of the M16, AR-15, AR-10, predating all of that, also, you know, he dabbled with piston-driven systems as well, like what you see here with the AR-180. So we've got Professor Matt here to try to explain the difference between the two.
So yeah, the AR-18 was the design by Eugene Stoner as a select fire military rifle for countries that couldn't, say, support the infrastructure necessary to make an AR-15. So you can see immediately, like, this has stamped sheet metal parts, and it went with a short gas piston system. The idea was that this would be a lower cost to make and maintain rifle.
Which when you think about that mindset, a short stroke system being more cost effective than a DI system, just kind of, my oh my, how the times have changed.
But so the AR-180 is the civilian semi-automatic version of the AR-18. And when we talk about the designs of firearms, usually we focus on two things, which is like the locking of the system and the gas cycling of the system, right? So like this is a short stroke and it has a rotating bolt. Those are the two kind of components that we look at when we talk about how this operates. This is also short stroke with a rotating bolt. So the design of the function of the firearm is pretty much identical. Obviously there are some differences, like if you look at the guide rods that the bolt carrier on this one ride on, it actually extends past the bolt versus this one are all to the rear of the bolt. So there are some small differences, but overall the designs are the same, and that's not a coincidence. The AR-180 has been around for quite some time and has spawned a number of more modern designs, including the Spear, or the MCX line of rifles in general, as well as like the Bren 2, for instance.
Right.
These are all rifles.
16.
I mean, the list could go on.
I mean, the list can definitely go on.
But, so this is kind of the, I guess you could say, the epitome of the development of this rifle design. Right. Now, so those two things are how they're very similar. Of course, there are some other similarities as far as like caliber, and some even in the way that you would operate the firearm. Obviously, this has controls kind of similar in several regards. Magazine release, the safety, to an AR-15.
Right.
This, of course, has effectively the same controls as an AR-15. However, notably, all ambidextrous controls.
Right. So go ahead. Because all I was just going to get at was, you'll notice that like on the AR-180, there isn't really a bolt release. So little things like that, because, well, it also has a reciprocating charging handle, and whenever you just want to send the bolt home, you just simply just drop the mag and
you rock it like an AK.
You rock it like an AK. That, has a bolt hold open feature. But other than that,
hey, some of the mags do.
Some of the mags do, the gun. However, as far as the controls go, hey, I will say you're kind of ahead of its time. It does have an ambidextrous safety.
It does.
But like I said, as far as everything else goes, mag release is just on the right-hand side, charging handle just on the right-hand side. There is no reciprocity there as far as whether it can go in and out the left and right side. So it's just straight right-handed operation there, which to Matt's argument might be more left-handed friendly anyway.
That's right. This is definitely how I want my rifle set up, with the charging handle on the right side. I don't know why manufacturers were like, oh, we'll put it over here for all the right-handed shooters. as smart as these guys were, like I don't get that. But
that
I
ultimately
appreciate
is-
it.
is simpler.
But I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Well, look at like the Galil, right? So they made it so that way it's a little bit easier to operate because it comes and sticks straight up. So that way you can literally just kind of sweep across the top of it, or if you wanted to, you could come over here or come over there. Or,
Some people go into the bottom.
so, yeah, exactly. So it actually kind of opens it up for you a little bit more. You can kind of still do the same here if you wanted to, but it's nowhere near as ergonomically friendly and whatnot, you know. And if you do have the optic, which it does, unlike the Sig Spear LT, which has Picatinny and M-Lock everywhere you look.
Absolutely.
This obviously is way before that. And you'll notice, however, that there is actually kind of like a bayonet style, I guess you could call it that, of attachment system, or dovetail style, more
Yeah,
so.
dovetail,
Yeah, more of a dovetail style system that you see right here that you can actually put an optic on, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, of course that would be a pretty early in development kind of optic.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, you know, for all the cool things that Graham has, does he not have an original optic? Jeez.
We have to make fun of him now.
I know, gosh. Anyway, it also has a dust cover just like that.
Good. So, you know, when you look at how they're similar, in their broad strokes, how the firearms operate, they are very similar, which is intentional. Like, this is a development from this rifle.
Right.
How are they different? Just about everything else. So when you look at like
Right.
construction method and construction materials, again, this has steel, you know, very thin steel sheets that
yeah,
have
it's
been.
like steel sheets. It's like an AK.
It's been stamped and welded. In fact, you know, you can probably pick up these welds on the
Yes.
camera. So this was intended to be able to be produced very inexpensively. This, of course, has machined aluminum.
Right.
So just like a normal AR lower, you know, it's forging that has been machined. As far as the, you know, again, the controls, you have ambidextrous controls of all types on, you know, whether it be your bolt catch and your safety, your magazine
magnums,
release.
yeah.
You know, everything is ambidextrous on this rifle, which is also appreciated. So thanks for the original designer and the most recent designer.
Right.
I appreciate you guys. I see you out there. Both of them have the short gas operation, but the Sig Spear LT has an adjustable gas block, so
Right.
you have the option of having like your standard operation, or you know, you can change that gas setting for like suppressed operation. And of course, the ability to accept accessories. Yes, this has a type of optics mount on top of it.
Right.
This is made for accessories.
Literally.
Like,
yes.
like you know, you can mount whatever lights, optics. You know, you have a vertical
Grips,
grip or an
pressure
angled
pads,
grip. I mean,
whatever you want.
Sky's the limit.
Grenade launchers.
Now, it is kind of interesting to see that you know, the muzzle brakes are muzzle
similar.
devices are pretty similar.
3-prong.
And this was intended to take kind of a original AR-15 muzzle device.
And actual an M16 bayonet as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I think is kind of a little ironic, right, is that the AR-180 did not take standard AR-15 max.
No, the magazine that's currently in it is a 20-round modified AR mag. So it has your opening on the left-hand side that does activate your mag release. And then on the right-hand side, there's been a slight little cut here. And that's actually for the mag release, mag catch to fall into place right in here. So it's a lot thinner of a, I guess you could say, gripping area, or I guess
Yeah,
a
the
lot
catch
thinner.
itself is kind of
Lot
low in
thinner.
profile.
Yeah, thank you for catch. Jeez, I even used the word. But anyway, so
So while this does not take standard AR-15 max, this does.
yeah.
So this is, you know, more contemporary to the original design of the AR. For whatever reason, you know, they did use a different style of catch in the rifle. This does use standard AR-15 max, so it uses 5.56 out of, you know, you can see this is just a mag bolt.
Right. They both do also feature a side folding stock that activates in a similar way. You'll notice that the side folding stock on this guy has a little tab right here. You push that down and that allows you to fold this on over. There's also a little pin that this will catch into. Notice the opening here. You got a male and female in for the stock. Imagine that, only 2 types. And then from here, you just continue on and it's locked into place, not gonna go anywhere. The Sig Spear, similar, except it just uses modern technology, I guess. You have a button design and then you push simultaneously, kind of like pulling up, and that allows it to kind of break away. So pull up, not really push. And then it just folds into place, but it uses just basic retention to stay locked into place. Nothing extra on the receiver, no female or male parts here. It also doesn't have a binary trigger on it, so that doesn't make sense. But anyway, and it just opens right up, right? So
it's non-binary.
right. And to activate or deploy the stock, you just pull. And because of its age and everything else, I'm not going to be as aggressive with it like I will on the Spear LT. But there you have it. Ultimately, too, very lightweight, even though it is made out of steel. You got to think it's just stamped like sheet metal, right?
It's pretty thin.
Yeah, and then this right here was a block of aluminum at one point. So
also things like the handguards. You know, this is again machined aluminum versus
thicker barrel as well.
Versus you know the polymer handguards.
Yeah.
Like so, it's interesting to see that this rifle is actually quite a bit lighter than this rifle.
And it also doesn't have any technology on it as far as optics, lights, grips, or anything like that. What you see is what you get.
On the other hand, like if you were to go and utilize these, if this was a situation in which you were depending on one of these two rifles, other than the advantages of having, say, optics, right? I mean, this rifle is known to have been a super reliable platform for the people who did adopt it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't adopted super widely, but the development of it and the kind of descendants of it have been adopted all around the world.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with the system of this rifle. Again, it's super reliable. Short gas operation is, a great system for keeping the internals of the action clean, while keeping the reciprocating mass of your rifle minimal. And so you've got that great rotating bolt lockup, so you can use very high power rounds. You can use the short gas operation. I mean, I would take this rifle if I needed to pick one. Like, this would definitely be fine
on
with
your
me.
list. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, imagine, if you will, right? Kalashnikov, Stoner coming together and said, let's make a cool gun. And this feels very reminiscent of both.
Yep.
Being 5.56, it's still a piston-driven design, not long stroke, short stroke. On top of that, you've got, again, the charging handle in its location, mag release in its location. It feels like it kind of took a couple of things from both systems and just meshed it together.
Well, and if you think about it, I feel like
and also the stamping,
I feel like that makes sense, right? So a lot of the design of Kalashnikov was to go to ease of production and keep production costs down, right?
Yeah.
That's why they're using it. Well, that's why the original AK was a milled receiver, then went to a stamped receiver. I'm sorry, it was a stamped receiver, and then they went to a milled receiver, and then back to a stamped receiver.
Yeah.
Let me get that right. So originally supposed to be stamped,
Yes.
to be low cost. They couldn't make that work. Went to a milled receiver because that would work. Then they went back to a stamped receiver because, again, cost.
Yeah.
Right. They wanted to get those savings. So there we see that again. This was intentionally to be a lower to produce cost rifle. So yeah, it is kind of like a AR-15 and a Kalashnikov had a baby.
So you're a fan.
Yeah, I definitely like it.
Only if it was chambered in 7.62 by 39 and long stroke and had some wood,
Well, we have 7.60 by 39 as well.
I actually forgot about that. I'm glad you're here, Matt. So yeah, they make the Spear LT in 7.62 by 39 also, which is pretty exciting. I know Matt's a fan of that because you're pretty much taking, again, the heart and everything of this gun, chambering it in 7.62 by 39, making it more modular and ergonomic and throwing it over there.
It's like a better modern SKS. Short gas piston, 7.60 by 39.
And not bubbed. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this video. Would you be curious to see perhaps maybe one day an AR-180? Perhaps they made full auto models, didn't they?
Oh, well, the AR-18 is full auto. That's
right.
Select fire. The AR-180 is the civilian model.
Yeah, you mentioned that at the very beginning of the video. If only I had better listening skills, I probably would have went to college. Anyway, there you guys have it. Like I said, if you'd like to see maybe a full auto model in action, let us know down in the comments. I think that's kind of a dumb question. Of course you guys do. But if you'd like to see a little bit more of the Spear LT, also